I love you, thank you for coming by today as well. When you look at people, what do you notice first? Their tone, appearance, or job. However, the essential aspect is something else: their habits. Words can be polished endlessly, but habits never lie. The unsettling truth is that a single habit can reveal a person's true nature completely. This explains why someone who initially seemed kind can suddenly change, or why a person you trusted may have been secretly using you behind your back. It was all evident in their habits from the beginning. We didn't notice. Today, we will discuss individuals who may seem fine on the outside, but become exhausted when you get close. I'll share 6 dangerous habits of theirs. Is there a face popping into your mind right now? If so, you need to stay until the end. If you enjoy today's topic, please hit subscribe and like. I'll repay you with content that touches your heart. First, consider people who keep looking at their phones while meeting with me. You made plans to meet in person to relieve some stress, but as soon as they sit down, they pull out their phone to check messages, notifications, shopping, or news articles. They're physically present, but their mind are elsewhere. They might say, I'm listening. Go on, I'm all ears. Yet, their ears, eyes, and hearts aren't truly engaged. Only their mouths are moving. Is this just a habit? No, it feels like they're pretending to ignore you, but it's a sign of disrespect. In psychology, this behavior is known as phubbing, a combination of phone and snubbing. It refers to ignoring the person in front of you by being absorbed in your smartphone. Research from Baylor University in the U.S. shows that phubbing drastically lowers relationship satisfaction and damages the other person's self-esteem, making them feel less valued. Even just having a phone on the table can lead to shallower conversations and reduce emotional connections between people. Essentially, that phone in their hand is obstructing your relationship. The more alarming aspect is this: that person isn't busy. They don't see a reason to focus on you. If you were critical in that moment, they would be looking into your eyes, not at their phone. The French philosopher La Rochefoucauld said, "Rudeness stems from indifference to the other person's importance." This isn't merely a mistake. It's a behavior that shows how low you rank in their priorities. Expressions like, "I'm sorry, I just got an important message," or "I have some work stuff," they're all just excuses. What truly matters is not their words but their actions. Their hands are reaching for their world, not for you. The direction of those fingertips reveals their true intentions. Don't dismiss this habit lightly. The true heart of someone who continually stares at their phone isn't found in their words, it lies in their indifference. And indifference can hurt more than silence and can destroy relationships faster than silence can. Second, the way they speak to service staff reveals their character. Have you ever felt uneasy while dining in a restaurant for no apparent reason? "Hey, can you bring some water here? How long has it been since we ordered?" Their words convey a sense of being a customer, yet their attitude comes off as a command, and their tone is aggressive. To their friends, they may initially speak with smiles and appear polite. However, a single harsh word directed at a service worker reveals their true character. Why do we instinctively feel discomfort and distance when we encounter such individuals? According to a social psychology study from Harvard University, when evaluating others, people prioritize warmth over strength. This sense of warmth is determined by how individuals treat those with less power. Additionally, research on mirror neurons shows that simply observing someone's aggressive behavior can cause stress in our brains, making us feel as if we have been attacked ourselves. Therefore, when someone is rude to a service worker, those of us who are watching experience similar discomfort. Socrates once said, "You can tell who a person is by how they treat those weaker than them." This is true. Many people can speak courteously when interacting with those in positions of power. However, true character is revealed through their words and demeanor towards those who lack power. Even a single word can encapsulate their entire character. Moreover, some individuals can't help but talk about others. Some people seem unable to feel satisfied unless they are gossiping about someone else with every word they speak. You've likely encountered this scenario. That family's daughter-in-law didn't show up for the holidays again. So and so didn't get into college. They acted high and mighty, but I've heard they are struggling now. At first, these comments might seem like casual chatter, but strangely, after speaking with them, you may feel drained and downcast. Why is that? They aren't merely talking, they are alleviating their anxiety. Briefly putting others down can temporarily boost their self-esteem, and discussing someone else's failures can make them feel less inadequate. The frightening aspect? That same gossip will eventually turn toward you. Psychological research suggests that individuals who frequently engage in gossiping tend to experience greater dissatisfaction with their own lives and often feel inferior. Yale professor Peter Salovey states that gossip serves as a form of self-defense and arises from social comparison. Essentially, they constantly unearth others' weaknesses to mask their insecurities and deficiencies. If you spend too much time around these people, you may start to change without even realizing it. At first, you might listen, but soon, you'll find yourself adding comments or nodding along to someone's misfortune. Eventually, your stories may find their way into their conversations as well. Words reflect a person's character, and habits reveal their integrity. The ancient philosopher Seneca remarked, "Those who attack others with words ultimately destroy themselves." Never underestimate someone who can't speak without gossiping. That habit will one day become a weapon aimed at you, and it will strike from behind. Lastly, you can gauge a person's character by looking at their wallet. Imagine you're out eating together. The atmosphere is lively, you're laughing, chatting, and feeling a sense of camaraderie. But when it's time to pay, the mood shifts. Some start fiddling with their phone while others rummage through their bag. "Oh, I don't have cash. I'll get it next time." Once or twice, this might be acceptable. Yet, curiously, it seems that this person always disappears when the bill arrives. Their words are charming, their expressions gentle, and their behavior polite. But when it comes time to reach for their wallet or lack thereof, their true intentions are revealed. Is this simply stinginess? No. In the smallest moments, people unknowingly test their true selves. They might think, "This is probably fine, right? They'll understand, won't they?" There's an intriguing experiment that perfectly captures this mindset. Dan Ariely, a behavioral economist at MIT, posed the question, "How honest can people be when it comes to money?" He had dozens of participants solve simple math problems within 5 minutes. For each correct answer, they earned $1. The more questions they answered correctly, the more money they made. The experiment was divided into 2 groups. The first group submitted their papers, which a researcher graded, and the participants were paid accordingly. The second group, however, graded their work and reported the number of correct answers to earn their money. No questions asked and no way to get caught lying. What were the results? Nearly everyone in the second group reported getting 1 or 2 more problems correct than they did. They didn't blatantly lie. Instead, they subtly nudged the results in their favor, just enough to avoid suspicion. Dan Ariely explains this phenomenon. People want to believe they are good, so they cheat only as much as they can while still satisfying their conscience. That's what's concerning. It's not about habitual lying, it's about habitual rationalization. Now, apply this experiment to daily life. Consider the person who always slips away when it's time to pay the bill, the one who keeps saying, "I'll get it next time," or who vaguely remembers, "Didn't I pay last time?" Deep down, they know they're not paying their share. But in their mind, there's always a rationalization like, "This is probably fine." When this behavior repeats, it can become a habit, and that habit will eventually return to you as a disappointment. French philosopher Montaigne said, "Money is the most accurate tool for revealing the human heart." The meal or coffee itself isn't what matters, it's how people act in those moments that reveal everything. The person who avoids eye contact at the cash register, rummages through their bag, or consistently dodges the moment to pay is likely to be absent when you face a real crisis in life. Money may seem small, but actions speak. You can gauge a person's character by looking at their wallet. Additionally, a person's character is often revealed when they grip the steering wheel. They may speak beautifully and appear quiet, kind, and gentle. However, the moment they grab the wheel, they can transform. Honking is just the beginning. If someone cuts them off, they might say, "What's wrong with that car? Are they crazy? Don't cut in, you jerk." Sighs, sarcasm, and curses may follow. In those moments, their true nature is revealed. Why do people change when driving? In psychology, this phenomenon is known as de-individuation. It occurs when hidden emotions, aggression, or rough habits surface in an uncontrolled environment. The driver's seat is a space they fully control, and the world outside the window is filled with strangers. Consequently, their repressed emotions pour out without restraint. German philosopher Schopenhauer stated, "A person's dignity is revealed when they are given power." The steering wheel may be small, but it represents a minor form of control for that person. And the behavior exhibited in that space can eventually influence how they treat others. Someone who changes while driving isn't merely exhibiting a habit. It's the first sign of how much they suppress their emotions and how inconsiderate they can be. The steering wheel isn't just a handle, it's a compass that reveals their character. Lastly, consider individuals who end every sentence with, "That's just how I am." Phrases like "I'm just a blunt person by nature" indicate a refusal to reflect on their behavior. "That's just my personality. Understand me. I've always been this way." People who frequently say this may initially appear honest and straightforward, which can feel comforting. However, something feels off. Their words can leave emotional wounds, always accompanied by an excuse, "That's just how I am." This phrase acts as a cunning shield that deflects apologies, self-reflection, and accountability. It allows them to frame their aggression, rudeness, or insensitivity as simply part of their personality. "This is who I am, I'm not going to change, so deal with it or don't." Ultimately, this statement is a declaration, "I have no intention of changing." Psychologist Christine Hammond describes this type of individual as a change avoider. They are aware that their actions can harm others, yet they refuse to acknowledge it, cloaking their stubbornness in the guise of character to protect themselves in uncomfortable situations. This habit ultimately destroys relationships. What happens when you get close to someone like this? If you end up hurt, you'll often be labeled as overly sensitive. No matter the issue, they won't change, it's you who must endure. The more you communicate, the more you lose. Eventually, you might think, maybe that's just how they are. French philosopher Montaigne stated, "Stubbornness is another name for ignorance." Indeed, when someone says, "That's just how I am," they are essentially declaring, "I don't want to learn." And it's important to note that if they genuinely are like that by nature, you need to be even more cautious. So remember, those who frequently say, "That's just how I am," will never change. Instead, they will make you change, exhaust you, and eventually push you away. The one phrase that reveals their true nature? "That's just how I am." The moment you hear it, don't attempt to change them, change your distance from them. So far, we've examined the harmful habits that make some people appear fine on the surface but exhausting to be around up close. Now, let's shift our focus. What about those whose habits make you feel at ease over time? Whose presence enriches your life? Here are the key criteria for recognizing the people you should keep close to based on their positive habits. First, consider those who hold the door for you. Whether at a store, hospital, or bank, you've likely experienced someone breezing past as you're about to walk through a door. Then there's the person who, busy with their tasks, pauses to hold the door open for you. This small act is more than just physical, it reflects their character and attitude. Holding the door shows they are aware of others around them and willing to pause their actions for someone else. It demonstrates that they are observant and not solely self-focused. In psychology, this is referred to as a non-self-centered act of kindness. Though it may seem minor, research indicates that individuals who perform such gestures tend to have higher social trust. greater satisfaction in their relationships, and stronger inner stability. The key is that this is not a performative act, it requires genuine sincerity. Only those who have kindness ingrained as a habit can consistently exhibit it. British philosopher Adam Smith said, "Morality isn't revealed in grand decisions but is tested daily in the smallest actions." This is true. People who instinctively react with kindness in moments when no one is watching often without expecting thanks are the ones who will quietly support you during difficult times. When you encounter someone for whom this kindness comes naturally, be sure to value and keep them in your life. Second, seek out people who listen to you until the end. Have you ever had this experience in life? Someone who interrupts you mid-story with phrases like, "Oh, so it's like that," or jumps in before you've finished with, "I've had that happen to me too," is not truly listening. In those moments, you may feel invisible and think, "This person doesn't want to hear me." On the other hand, some nod, say, "Go on, keep talking," and listen until you finish, only sharing their thoughts afterward. This behavior goes beyond good manners, it reflects a well-developed sense of empathy. In psychology, this is known as active listening. It's more than just hearing words, it's about trying to understand the emotions behind them. Research indicates that individuals who adopt this conversational style tend to build trust more quickly and have a positive impact on the emotional stability of those around them. These people don't just hear your words, they embrace your feelings. Having someone like this in your life ensures that your story isn't lost but is genuinely acknowledged. The ancient Roman philosopher Cicero said, "The best conversations come from those who listen best." This is true. A good listener also communicates well, maintains relationships, and knows how to be empathetic. The simple act of listening until the end demonstrates respect, empathy, and strong character. If you encounter someone like this, the more you talk, the closer you'll want to be. Cherish their presence. Next, consider those who keep their promises. You may meet someone who arrives 5 minutes early for a meeting and waits, or someone who, if something comes up, lets you know in advance and apologizes if they must break a promise. In contrast, some say, "I might be a bit late, today's tough," or "sorry." How a person manages their time reveals a great deal about their character. Keeping promises isn't just about punctuality, it's evidence of how much they value you. Even if someone claims, "It's fine," the person waiting often feels disappointed. When promises are broken, relationships can suffer a gradual decline. Psychologist Robert Cialdini stated, "People feel deeper trust toward those with consistent behavior." This consistency begins with keeping promises. A promise kept sends a silent message: "You are a priority to me." More importantly, someone who honors small promises will be there for you in life's critical moments. German philosopher Immanuel Kant said, "Trust is a greater force than knowledge." And trust begins with keeping promises. Indeed, if someone consistently keeps promises to you, they are not just being polite, they are taking your relationship seriously. People who value promises also value relationships. This habit may seem trivial, but it is where trust and character shine brightest. Keep these individuals close. Lastly, think about those who act first in uncomfortable situations. When an older adult boards a bus and everyone else pretends not to notice, one person quietly stands up to offer their seat. In a tense meeting where no one speaks up, one individual pours water to lighten the mood. In a crowded restaurant, when people struggle to pass by, someone instinctively pulls in their chair or steps aside. These individuals read the room without saying a word and take action, even if it means inconvenience. This behavior indicates that they think of others first and instinctively choose kindness. Psychologist Daniel Batson defines the behavior of emotional altruism. His research shows that individuals who empathize with others' discomfort tend to have significantly higher levels of trust and likability in their relationships. This trait cannot simply be taught. When someone's body reacts instinctively, it indicates that their heart is already prepared to respond. While people can articulate well, they cannot mask their true intentions through spontaneous actions. Those who do not shift blame in uncomfortable situations, that is, those who take responsibility and work to resolve issues, are the ones who strive to relieve others' discomfort during critical moments. In the Eastern classic, The Analects, Confucius stated, "The noble person seeks the cause within themselves, while the small person seeks it in others." In tense situations, those who remain passive are waiting for someone else to act, while those who take initiative help others feel more at ease. Simple gestures, like pulling out a chair, stepping aside to make room, or taking the lead, can significantly build trust in a relationship. If you encounter someone like this, it is wise to keep them close. Another key sign of character is how people greet service workers first. Whether at a hospital reception, bank counter, or checkout at a store, service workers often face numerous expressionless faces daily. Among them, some say, "You must work hard," or "Thank you." Though it may seem like a small gesture, such phrases carry immense dignity. This behavior reflects an attitude toward humanity. These individuals recognize the person before them regardless of status or role. They treat service workers, drivers, and cleaners with equal respect. Psychologist Adam Grant refers to this type of individual as an empathic achiever. His research indicates that those who show respect to perceived, weaker individuals foster deeper relationships and cultivate lasting trust. This is also a testament to true strength in relationships. The French philosopher Alain suggested, "True nobility is perfected by not losing respect even for the powerless." Indeed, someone who acknowledges another person's existence with a greeting regardless of their status embodies true adulthood and goodness. They will treat you as an equal, even in times of weakness, without condescension. That brief greeting, it represents their heartfelt respect. We have explored moments in which a person's true character is revealed through their habits. Some may expose their selfishness and rudeness through a single small action. In contrast, others demonstrate quiet consideration and reveal their character, even when no one is watching. Though individuals can refine their words endlessly, their habits reflect the choices they have made throughout their lives. Ultimately, a person's actions depict their overall approach to life. Is there someone coming to mind as you read this? It may be worthwhile to reassess your distance from them. Above all, this reflection prompts you to consider how others perceive your habits. We find happiness by surrounding ourselves with good people, and by striving to be good ourselves, we minimize true loneliness. I sincerely wish for only warm and steadfast individuals to remain in your life. What thoughts or insights did this video evoke for you? Please share your experiences in the comments. Your story could offer comfort and insight to someone else. Thank you for watching until the end. If you found this video helpful, please share it with those you care about and support me with a subscription and a like. Your connection means so much to me. Wishing you happiness today and always.